is it like to camp when you have Lyme disease and your body is a wreck and it's really difficult? So that's what I'm going to show you a little bit about is, I am determined to live and do stuff and be a part of my kid's life and, go camping for Cub Scouts as a family and everything. And so I want to be a part of that. However, if I went with how I felt physically and maybe even emotionally, like the mental disturbance of feeling like crap and being afraid and fears and all that stuff, then I wouldn't live. I wouldn't do it. But I face my fears head on. I face the challenges head on, and I'm like, no, you know what? I can either be miserable at home or I can be miserable with my family camping, and I'd rather just be living life and being a part of my family's adventures and everything. So one of the things I have to think about is food. So a lot of times will have to pack my own food so that I don't eat the crap that people feed at campouts. And then I have to pack my supplements, so I have this fabulous container that I set up and has all my supplements so that I can make sure that I have exactly what I need. Oh, and then, okay, so now I'm going into mosquito and tick infested areas that have lots of disease and Lyme and all of that stuff, and I don't want any of that. I don't want my family to have any of that. So I pack, let me show you. I pack natural bug repellent, and I put this all over all of our skin, like under our clothes and everything like that. And then I cover all of our clothes with things like Off and Repel, Tick Defense and West Nile Defense, and then I got some other stuff like Promethean, I think, that we spray like on our stuff, our bedding and tents, and I keep the bugs away. So I'm heavy duty on keeping the bugs away, but I try to keep that heavy duty stuff off my skin so I don't need to absorb any more toxins, because my life is overloaded with toxins, right? Because I have this horrid disease that just overloads my body with toxins. So then the other challenge that I have is packing for my family and loading things in the van and all that stuff, all while my amazing husband is at work. And so that he can go on the camp out, because right now he's right now he's working, but we gotta load everything up. So I as a homeschool mom, my goal is to make sure that my kids can actually, be responsible adults. So my goal is to teach them how to do that. So one of the things that I do is self-responsibility. So each one of them packs their own bags. Now obviously I kind of inspect and give them goals and stuff like that, but I try to give them lists so they can use their lists. I help them figure it all out, and then they are responsible for carrying their bag, packing their bag, everything, even though they're little, because I'm like, they need to learn self-responsibility, and I personally can't do it all, really. Even if I was healthy, I probably shouldn't anyway, because they need to learn all that anyway. So, and then they actually have to help lift and use teamwork and everything. So I'm going to show you some of that and what it's like, because, lifting heavy things and all that stuff is kind of impossible for me. So I'm going to use these amazing people right behind me here, and we're going to get ready to go camping. So here we go.
Oh, lifting it is great. Ow. That hurt.
That's it. You guys can do it. Teamwork. Alright, we are on the road to go camping. We are filled to the brim with gear and everything, and I'm meeting all the Cub Scouts and my husband there and everything. We're going to have a nice, unplugged, relaxing weekend. But I brought my essential oils to keep me happy and peppy and help soothe all my aches and pains and all that stuff, and brought all my supplements. And so I'm gonna unplug and chill, and it's gonna be a good weekend. And all of my fabulous little guys back here are gonna help me set up the big fat together. So, now we've got about an hour and a half drive, and we're almost sitting still in traffic right now. So, eventually we'll get there.
Versus the 3-pound sled.
Okay, we're officially set up. It is dark and it is hot. I have never been camping when it's this hot before. Like, I don't summer camp, I usually fall camp. Well, it's fall and it was 90 degrees today, and I'm not sure what temperature it is right now, but it's like so sticky and so wet and everything. But one of the things that makes it capable of me camping is to sleep on a raised mattress. I would love to be able to just do on the floor, even with just, I'd love to have a pad as well, but the fact that I can't really get up and down off the floor because of my legs, one of the things that we've done is have a raised mattress, so that's really helpful. So I can, and it's a double tall, so like I can sit, like it's a chair, so it's high enough for that, so that's helpful. So hope it cools off enough that I can sleep tonight, but guess what? I'm sweating, which means I'm detoxing, so that's a good thing, because normally I usually freeze to death on campouts, and I really struggle with getting too cold and it really hurting me. So this time I'm hot and detoxing. I guess to just look at the good side of all of this. So now to unplug and chill this weekend. Good morning. So the kids are all out playing and running, and so you're gonna hear lots of little people chatter around me. But the last night it did finally get cool, which was nice. I almost got cold, but I was just a little bit chilled, so that was good. I didn't get cold. And then I was sleeping really good, and then Alan came to bed, and we were sharing this big air mattress, and he was not sleeping well, and so he was tossing and turning, which was waking me up. So I didn't really get a lot of sleep once he came to bed, but when I was going to sleep last night, the kids wanted me to tell them stories, and so I just read them some fairy tales and laying in bed, and they were, we have a really big tent, so they were like in the other rooms of the tent as I read, and they were like, read more, and so I read like 3 fairy tales, and they were so excited, and then they went to sleep, and I was glad to be here to do that with them. And then this morning my body is in a ton of pain from head to toe, like my neck and my arms and my wrists and my hips and legs and my knee and my whole leg. It's just terrible. I actually remember dreaming. I had a dream that I was covered in these really ugly bruises, and people were like upset that I had bruises all over me. And as I'm laying here this morning, I'm like, oh, yeah. If people could actually see my pain with the bruises, they would be really, really concerned about me. But there's no visual evidence of pain with the Lyme disease. It's just there. And so the pain is awful today. It's so ridiculous. I am very annoyed, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be camping. It's good to be out in the wilderness. It's good to unplug and put my phone in a bag and just ignore it and disconnect, and it's good to be with my family and be out in nature. I don't like the bugs, and I don't like the uncomfortable temperatures or the uncomfortable bed, but it is nice just to have a change of scenery and everything. So hoping the pain doesn't stay this severe all day long. But today is my Saturday, my Sabbath, where I usually rest. So I every other day of the week I force myself to function whether I feel like it or not. And Saturdays I usually only do what my body feels up to doing. So, and a lot of those Saturdays I end up just really in bed the whole day. And so I guess that may be what's going to happen today, except I just won't be at home. And so, but I think I'll have the freedom to do that today since we are with the Cub Scouts and my kids can go with the group and all that stuff. And I don't have any jobs or responsibilities because I made sure of that. I don't need to be in charge of anything. I need to be in charge of my body. So this is part of camping with Lyme. It's so quiet. So I've been sleeping. Everyone went for a hike, and it's just peaceful. Maybe some birds and stuff, but it's so great. However, my tent has turned into a sauna, and I am melting. It is hot. I know it was supposed to be like 90 degrees today, and the sun is beating down. It is hot today. So, to look on the bright side, I'm away from my infrared sauna. So I guess I will sweat it out here while I rest. But I got some good sleep for a while. So that was nice. Today is definitely a rough body day, and it's hot. You know what I'm really thankful for? Is my oil. The main one I'm thankful for today is, let's see if we can find it. Well, that would be peppermint because it's hot, so I've put the peppermint on the bottoms of my feet and the backs of my knees and the back of my neck, and it has cooled me down and is making me feel a lot better as I lay here and do some writing. Also using a bit of elevation today because it's tough to stay positive when you don't feel good and you can't participate in what other people are doing, and some citrus bliss. The citrus bliss mixed with the peppermints is oh so delightful. My go-to oils for all of my aches are the copaiba, the frankincense, and the deep blue. Those are really, really helpful for me. Before I left, I ran pain release on the amp coil and also a Herx Help and a brain reboot yesterday before I left because I knew that I needed all the support I could get. So now I'm out and about using my essential oils and making it through and trying to stay positive even when the body is really wrecked. Oh, it's so frustrating. But choosing to remain positive even in the midst of it all. Choosing to be content in all circumstances is definitely a choice because today it is like incredibly difficult to walk. The amount of pain and muscle issues and joint problems I'm having is absolutely ridiculous. So everyone else went like on a 3-mile hike earlier today, and I pretty much slept and rested during that. Everybody's gone, and now I'm just sitting outside my tent because I just don't want to lay in the tent anymore. I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting here, but now everybody's gone again. They've gone either fishing or to the playground and everything. So the whole campsite's pretty much abandoned except for me. There's tons of people on this camp out, but I've decided to sit here and look at the beautiful sky and trees and enjoy the scenery of what I'm looking at I'm sitting here and I've decided to do some earthing so my feet are in the dirt, and I'm literally choosing right now to not get sad. I mean, that's just the reality of life with pain and suffering and misery and body dysfunction. I could get really depressed right now. I could cry. I could be mad. I could have a lot of horrible, bad emotions, and those thoughts have crossed my mind multiple times today, but I've decided, I am literally going to choose to be content in my situation, and I'm going to embrace this time in nature and enjoy myself even if I'm by myself. And I mean, I need to be doing some writing right now, and I literally can't really think good enough to do that either. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna enjoy the beautiful leaves on the trees. Honestly, if I were at home, because of the level of pain I'm in and everything, I would probably be like laying in bed, like probably binge watching Netflix or something, because it's one of the ways that I just kind of cope through those really, really bad days where I'm just awful, and because I'm not good enough to like function, and sometimes my brain isn't good enough to function, and sometimes I need the distraction. And so right now I'm like, I'm just gonna be quiet in myself, because sometimes it's better to have time to reflect and restore your soul and be quiet instead of filling your mind with things. So that's what I'm doing, just being quiet. Alright, we had a nice campfire last night.